Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the reaction for One Piece chapter 1135. It's a pleasure to see you all, especially so soon, because we were told that we were on a break, which we are. However, because it's a magazine break, we get the scan version early, which, if you didn't hear, the official version actually released early in the French version on Manga Plus. So the official version did leak for like 20 minutes, which that doesn't happen very often. So maybe that means the chapter's super hype. I don't know. We ended on a pretty big moment at the end of last stream. I'm also like super red again on stream. This happened last time. My light is white, so I don't know why that happens. But it's a pleasure to see you guys. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas. And then or happy holiday, whatever you celebrate. We also still have the new year coming around, right? So still some holidays to go. I'm trying to fix my light real quick. It's bothering me probably more than it bothers you guys, but. I also have a few quick announcements, and then we're going to get into the chapter pretty soon. First off, I just wanted to say I'm going to be gifting. Well, actually, before I make the promise, let me check if I have them. Maybe I don't have more memberships to give. Hold on, it's not popping up like normal. I'm going to get to that, but hopefully I can gift away some free memberships. I don't know if I've done them all. If not, a few days I get more. Major shout out Bean Boy for gifting 10 memberships. Major shout out to Lonely Mage gifting 5 memberships. I was hoping to join you guys, but the option's not popping up. I don't know if it means I'm out, but major shout out Lonely Mage, major shout out Bean Boy, and also shout out Kush Daddy with the $2 super chat. You asked Hot to Go or Pink Pony Club by Chappelle Roan. I honestly didn't know either of those songs, but I saw the. Well, I know who Chappelle Roan is. I just don't know the if that's your Chapel Roan. Is that how you say it? Chapel Roan? I don't even know. I see. That's how much I don't know. So I've seen the name though. And I looked up the songs so I could answer the question. I wasn't a huge fan of either of them, if I'm being honest, but I'm going to go Hot to Go. That one was a little more lively for me, so I'm going to pick that one. But honestly, I'm uncultured, so. Um, what else was I going to say? First, a major announcement. If you guys haven't already, please rank your favorite One Piece chapters of 2024. I have the poll pinned as a comment or whatever here in the chat. I should put it in the description as well for anyone who's watching the VOD. I will do that probably at the end of the stream. But I do want to put that in there because we will be having a charity stream for the Make-A-Wish Foundation on Sunday night, where we're going to go through all these chapters of the year. I'm going to have King Recon and Kev DOG, maybe some more people, but they said they're pretty certain they're going to be there. So a couple other creators, and we're going to go through all of your rankings for the chapters of the year, and we're going to give our thoughts on them, give our own rankings, that kind of thing, all while we raise money for charity. Major shout out to Kev and King Recon, because Kev has done a charity stream for a couple years for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and then King Recon actually did a community stream for the for everyone's favorite arcs not that long ago, which kind of gave me the idea, kind of mixing those two to hopefully make this a tradition where we can start doing it every year, where we rank the chapters of the year with a community poll and donate to charity while doing it. Yeah, major shout out to them. And Kev and also Teching does the annual St. Jude's charity stream. That also inspired me as well. They both obviously help children's hospitals, which is a great cause, but I wanted to do something that helped kids, but maybe it was a little bit different, and I thought Make-A-Wish was a good idea. So that's Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, if you guys are interested. And after we do the chapters of the year ranking, we're also going to do a 2025 bingo card, and then hopefully every year we can do the chapter ranking and then review last year's bingo card, make a new one, and just kind of make that a tradition. So just wanted to say that. And then also, anyone who signed up for the TCG giveaway, we're going to be doing that tomorrow. I was waiting for when this chapter would drop, and luckily it dropped today. So we're going to be doing that. So tomorrow, maybe, I don't know, in the afternoon sometime, depending on what happens in this chapter. I got to get to work on a video no matter what, and depending on what happens, the video might be harder or easier. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy weekend, but we're definitely gonna be having those two streams. So for sure. Also, Lonely Mage, you said no Laboon. I assume you mean the sound. Hold on, let me fix my camera real quick. I assume you mean the Laboon noise that I didn't play. My stream deck isn't working. I don't know why, if that's what you meant. It looks like it's working until I hit the button, then I get an exclamation point. I think what happened is my files moved around on my computer and it can't find the right file or something, but I'll fix that later. And then also I did see one other thing I wanted to answer. Alligator Tears, you said that's a lot of moderators. You got Nakama's deck. Absolutely, we do. Major shout out to the mod squad in the chat. There's quite a few of you guys now, but thank you guys for holding down the fort as always. Now I see a couple other donations and stuff. Let's see here. Hogan. I think that's how you say your name, because you told me this before. I think you said it was Hogan. Was pretty close. So with the $5 super chat, it's always a lucky day when I can catch you live. So glad to be here. Thanks for saving me from work. I was watching YouTube shorts like the stream. Oh, you were stuck in the YouTube short endless loop of doom scrolling, I guess. I feel like doom scrolling is a little bit of a different thing, but YouTube's really good at keeping you addicted into the shorts algorithm, right? So thank you for taking a break from those that come over here. I appreciate you, Hogan. Hopefully this is a great chapter. I haven't heard anything, but the spoilers didn't come out till like yesterday, so we'll see. Also, Quanidin, or I was thinking the other day about how many other ways I could pronounce your name in case I'm saying it wrong, Quanidin. I was like, Quanidin. I can't remember all of them. I thought of like 5 different ways, but I'm just gonna keep saying Quanidin until you correct me. But you said, dang, 7 months. I feel like I just did 6 months. I appreciate you, man, for real. It feels like it's been way longer than that, seriously. So thank you. Also, Quanidin, not to single you out, but I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. Yeah, so you won in the last TCG giveaway, and I need your address, my guy. You're the last one that I need the address from. So send me an email. I think I have it in the and I have it in the description here too. So just that email that I have in the description. Shoot me your address. Hogan with the $2 chat. Water check. Stay hydrated. You know what, Hogan? I appreciate you. I'm not gonna lie. Real talk. The last thing I did before I got on the stream, well, other than walk up the stairs here, but the last important thing I did was fill up my water bottle. So thank you, Hogan. We are all hydro homies here. I can tell you that for sure. All right, guys, we are gonna get into it. Well, actually, Big Cheap and Knack React. Okay, those just popped up a second ago. Okay, last 2, then we're getting into it. I promise. Knack Reacts, my guy, Canadian 279. I saw you're almost at 3K subscribers, by the way. That's awesome, bro. Happy holidays, King. Can't wait for Sunday. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I hope to see you there. I want to get everyone's kind of thoughts on the chapters of the year, because I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers for the results, because only I can see them right now, or hopefully I set it up right. They weren't what I thought. The top couple are what I thought, but the top couple are what I thought. The bottom couple are basically what I thought, but everything in between is not oriented the way that I thought. So I'm intrigued to kind of hear everyone's thoughts on Sunday night. And Big Cheap, member for 15 months. Finally, I can catch a chapter reaction. I'm always working. Big Cheap, welcome, bro. I'm so glad that we went live during a time where you can actually catch the stream. And since so many of you guys said, that you guys are catching this during work or whatever, we're going to go ahead and get into the chapter so that you don't get called back to work before the reaction happens. So thank you all. If anybody else donates anything, we will get to those right after I finish the reaction. So without further ado, One Piece chapter 1135. I do not know the title yet, but I see One Piece is again on the Shonen Jump cover. Nothing new. I said it before, but if I was a marketing manager for Shonen Jump, that's what I would do. I'd make sure Luffy's front and center every issue, unless, maybe the end of JJK, you could have the JJK guys, right? But if you want to sell some issues, get One Piece on there, that's for sure. Let's see, chapter 1135, Camaraderie Cups. All right, I like that one. Oh, we got Tama kicking Hold'em. All right, hey, yo. I know I've been dogging the Yamato cover story left and right, and for good reason. I think a lot of us have had our issues with how slow it was. But I like this. I'm a big fan of this. I'm a Tama stan. I think a lot of people are. I mean, not as much as some people, because I know Randy's probably the #1. Brandon King also in the chat. I know is a big Tama stan. This is a big moment. Brandon King, you better be pumped about this. This is awesome right here. I'm stronger than I was before. See, it just because we know that Tama is training to be a charming kunoichi or whatever, the a ninja, right, is basically the idea. And she's training with Shinobu and all that, which I still want to know how Shinobu gained all that weight back. But regardless, I love this because remember she got like kidnapped by Hold'em, and he used the pliers on her cheek, which that was brutal. And so Tama, hats off to you. I love this. This is one of the best. This is probably the second best chapter of the Yamato cover story for me, with the other best one being the first one where we saw Onigashima in the water. This is the highest it's been since volume 21. It's been 20. Have we actually had 21 chapters of this? Is that what? Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but that if we've actually had 20 chapters of this cover story, that's crazy. I don't think we've had that many. Maybe we have. I don't know. All right, now we're into the actual chapter. The letters are huge. So we got Bonnie and Chopper here on the book. I like that, like the book that grew once they, once they walked into the library. The letters are huge. It's hard to make out. The Giant's Well of Wisdom. And so, I guess before I get into it too far, I just want to say, because of the end of last chapter where we saw Shanks pop up, or well, Shanks twin, clone, whoever it is, right? Whatever Shanks amalgamation you prefer. Luffy should be able to like detect that hockey, right? Like he should immediately know that's what's going down. So I'm anxiously awaiting Luffy to notice it, or really anyone, Sanji, Zoro. Bibelot is this library's master. I'm a fan of this guy. I mentioned this last chapter. I love the owl, the Avatar callback, or whatever the legend is. Bibelot is this library's master. Hoot. They say he's been here for hundreds of years. Love that. All we can say for sure about this owl is he gigantifies any book that enters his territory. So he's got a devil fruit, right? Like this. And hold on. So before I even continue, so if this is an actual owl that ate a fruit, because remember how like all the other giant animals on Elbaf that we saw with Loki, they like were here since like for thousands of years or whatever, right? Like I forget exactly what all the verbiage was, but the animals had like ruled on that mountain for a really long time. So if this owl is a similar type of creature, it's probably also been alive for a long time. So that would make sense why it's been here in the same place for this long. And then it probably has a fruit that's making all this happen, which then ties me over to Chopper, who we just saw at the beginning of this chapter and who is studying books in this library as we speak, because he's also an animal that ate a devil fruit, right? And part of me wonders if like is this owl sentient? Maybe we're about to figure it out. I don't know, but I'm sure Chopper is going to talk to this guy. That's mainly what I was going to say, is if whether he can talk or not, like to humans, Chopper is going to learn something from this guy, guaranteed. News coups don't come to Elbaf since it's not part of the world government, but sometimes the fishermen bring some tiny papers back here so we can read them. He must have eaten the rear fruit and become a nurturing owl. Rear fruit? To think even inorganic things can grow with his power. So, because this is coming from Lilith, I tend to think that she would know what she's talking about, but rear fruit? Anyway, that's a perfect ability for a kingdom of giants. Feeling nostalgic? Yeah. I hope they have medical books here. Chopper, I'm sure they do, but you're gonna learn a lot from, what's his name again? Bibelot? Yeah, you're gonna learn a lot from Bibelot, I'm telling you. If that doesn't happen, Oda missed. He set it up too beautifully. I know we had a few, but most of it was archaeological and historical works. We got some medical books native to Elbaf too. Wow, I can't wait to read them. Although those books were always large, so they can't be shrunk down. That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense, but that's very, very interesting. Yahoo! Okay, so we see Luffy swinging, it looks like, with some kids. Okay, very cool. Push harder. So yeah, I guess that's what they're doing, and Luffy's making the swing so high that they're getting scared. Is that what's happening? This giant swing is the best. Yep, that's pretty much what I thought. We're very sorry. Oh, Usopp too. Usopp's like freaking out. I didn't even see him. He's freaking out, holding on to the other giant kid. Wait a second. This kid has horns. Is that a Oni kid? Does he actually have horns, or is that a helmet? It looks like he actually has them, right? Yeah, it looks like it's coming straight out the side of his head. So that's like an Oni kid, I'm guessing. All right, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. Can't you see that you're scaring them? Hey, I wanted to stop it too. That's what I was about to say. Usopp was not happy about that situation. It was so scary, Miss Gerd. Oh, you poor thing. Hey, it's shameful for a warrior to cry. Oh, see, there we go. Back to that, what we learned last chapter, where their culture is kind of changing or whatever. Back off, Luffy. These kids were raised with nothing but love and kindness. Come on, is this universal brat behavior now? Oh, so he's doing the same thing Momo did, bro. Oda, leave. Of course Oda would do that. Like, I mean, wow. Like, Oda's just got to throw the little gags in there at all times. Wow. Momo round 2. This is a bit of a letdown, Usopp. Yeah, but it's not like a peaceful Elbaf is a bad thing. Whoa, okay, so now, okay, hold on. So now Luffy is a little upset that the Giants aren't all these tough warrior guys. Like, I mean, I get that maybe it's missing expectations, but I mean, it's kind of a good thing, right? Like, it's. I mean, that's why Usopp is saying that right here. I think that's kind of interesting, a little bit, just because, like, you know, they're sad that they're not still like so barbaric, which is just, I don't know, it's just interesting. There you are, Straw Hat. So much for peaceful. You're wide open. Oh, is this Colin or Colin? Oh, wow. So we got the Queen and Sanji scene, round 2. Where he swings the sword, it breaks, and he doesn't even move. All right. I like that callback. That's like dead on the same panel. Hop, what? Gear third, Gum, elephant gun, punches right in front of the kid. All right, I like that. So Colin's realizing that, like, you know, Luffy's a tough guy. But it's cool because Colin, I kind of prefer Colin. I really hope his name's not just Colin like it said, but Colin here, I'll just say that. He seems to be exuding the warrior trope of Elbaf to a degree, right? Like, he went in swinging on Luffy. He's the one who wanted to join Shanks. So that's interesting that he is kind of the you know, the one who's still acting like a warrior, kind of. Don't overdo it, you dummy. I didn't even hit him. That's not the point. You're going to be in trouble. She. It's good to know not everyone around here is spineless. Again, the fact that it's the guy who, the kid who wanted to go with Shanks, that's, like, Luffy, this is you. You know, like, this is you round 2 that you're doing this to. I love this. That Luffy is a meanie. I hate violence. That was so cool. You're an emperor, all right. Okay, that juxtaposition is pretty awesome. Wow, I'm a huge fan. I also see another giant down here in this panel. I haven't read it yet, but in the bottom left, I see another girl with horns. So clearly, we're definitely getting some ancient giant info here at some point. You're just as bad, Colin. Our resident delinquent is here. Why do you have to pull these stunts and ditch school? Shut up. I hate weaklings like you. He's such a brute. And so that is so cool, man. That the second Luffy is the difference maker in his society. Like, he's the one who is exuding kind of the old way of life, I guess you could say. Like, that, man. I could do a whole video on that. Colin, don't cause a scene. But that was a solid first strike. It's her saying that again. But that was a solid first strike. Okay, so she's like, because she's like in between, right? We saw that last chapter where she pretends to believe in the new peaceful way of life, and then kind of, you know, still likes the old way a little bit. Mom, Mato-san made all your favorites. So wait, is this saying that Ripley is Colin's mom? Is that okay? Wow. All right. I like that. What? You're a mom, Ripley-chan? At least you're teaching your son the old ways. Aren't you going to tell him to apologize for that sneak attack? So that's interesting that it's her kid who is the one that's different. And I gotta say, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but if Colin is supposed to be like Luffy, where, you know, he wanted to join Shanks and all that, so he's like a little bit of a Luffy parallel at least, and we're beating his mom, is there something we could read into Ripley here about Luffy's mom, right? Like, yeah, maybe it's reaching a little bit too far, but I don't know. I mean, we all know Luffy's mom, you know, is Dadan, but biological mom, I don't know. Maybe there's a little story here to tell regarding that parallel. I don't know. Let's see. Did you know my father's a human too? Okay, so he's a half giant. Does that make him essentially a buccaneer because he's half and half? Did you know my father's a human too? Huh? He used to be a pirate, and he didn't fear anyone, not even the warriors of Elbaf. If it doesn't get revealed this chapter, I have a few very interesting ideas about his dad. Wow, lingonberries. I'm so happy. Your dad's human? My husband's much younger than me. Our marriage is more informal because of that age gap. He always said it'd be weird to make it official, since he'd be the only one to ever grow old. Is he for real? Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm just going to keep reading because I don't know if it gets revealed, but I have a few ideas. Whoa, even the library is awesome here. These books are huge. Luffy, I want to talk with Saul a little longer. I'll meet you at the feast later. Dare-shi-shi-shi. Those guys party for 3 days straight, so we'll have plenty of time. I'm staying too. Got it. Don't worry about me either. I'm gonna hang around and get my resident permit. Me too. Okay, so resident permit. So is that indicating both of these two are gonna be staying on Elbaf, or at least that's their intention? Because like obviously the crew won't need it because they're gonna leave relatively soon, the next couple days, with the way arcs work. That's interesting. Ow, I also I can't say it like Frankie or Kazuki Yao does, but ow, I also got some business around here. This entire kingdom is on an Adam tree. That's the same kind of wood which the Sunny is made of. Frankie, cook. Please, dude, this is what I want. Frankie, if you weren't going to get upgrades in Elbaf, I mean, you still have Lilith here, so I don't know why you're not over there asking to connect to Punk Records right now, but of all the things, please, I need the Adam tree lore from you, Frankie. No one else. I don't want it from any other character. Yeah, there are a few Adam trees around the world. Okay. That's big. All right. That's kind of mind-blowing for me, but the age of this one is off the charts. By the way, I see all the donations coming in. I'm going to get to those as soon as this is over. I know you guys know that, but I just keep seeing it pop up over and over, so just want to let you know. Appreciate you guys, though, in advance. I want to learn more about the treasure tree while we're here. No worries, we'll just go on ahead. I gotta eat before I starve. I'm at my limit. I've got something for you all. What is it, Gerd? Oh, we got the Elbaf drip for the rest of the crew. Yo ho ho, this is excellent. I look more like a warrior now, don't I? All right, Brooke. I like the drip. I like it. I like that he has like the oversized helmet to fit on the afro. The cape almost makes it look like his afro is like draping down, like all the way down his back. I like the drip. I'm gonna read all the text real quick, but I just gotta say off my quick glance, Jinbei looks like a hoss, but Frankie has the best drip of anyone on the Straw Hat crew in Elbaf, in my opinion. He's got the best drip, and I don't even know if it's that close, to be honest. That belt that Jinbei has is really making me think things because it's a dragon, and no one else has the dragon except for him, and the fishmen, you know, royalty has dragon on top of their palace, on top of Ryugu Palace. That's making me... I don't know if I'm reading into that too much, but Frankie's got the drippiest drip for me. He's got like a barrel kind of thing on his arm, right? Like with the way it looks. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know. I'm digging Frankie's. The giant belt going across him. I mean, Jinbei has the same thing, but he's also got just like the black jacket on. I don't know. I'm digging Frankie. He's also got the beard going. Damn right, Brooke. I'm feeling stronger already. Say, how come you've got clothes our size? I like making human clothes for fun, but that's all it is, I swear. Okay, so this is Gerd, I assume, because Roto also made clothes for humans, and Gerd, or at least he had them. And so I think she's trying to say, like, I don't capture you and make you into dolls like Roto, I just like making the clothes. And then she's like, they're so cute, so I assume she probably doesn't kidnap humans to be dolls, but she probably still thinks they're cute and, like, would want to, but she doesn't actually, I'm guessing, is kind of the idea. I'm glad you like them. They're wonderful. Thanks, Gerd. It's surprisingly comfortable. Yeah, Frankie, maybe we'll do a Elbaf drip ranking at some point. I mean, Robin's got some drip also, with, like, the one leg covered with that, whatever. I don't even know what to call that material exactly. But, yeah, no, they're dripped out. I mean, Jinbei's probably number 2. Anyway, all right, we'll meet you guys at the village. And so now they're flying away. See you later. Now, are we going to get any... Okay, okay, well, okay, now we're back to the castle. That's what I wanted to. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. All right. Oh, a west castle? Near the western village? Hey, what are you twerps doing here? We guards can't let you roam free, you know. Are you part of the Straw Hat crew? What business do you have in this country? We're looking for the one called Loki. Loki? Why would you want to see that criminal? Our country suffered greatly because of him. He's the king-slaying fiend who killed our beloved king, or kin-slaying fiend who killed our beloved King Harold. That's why this castle is so empty. Then will you tell me where he is? We can't do that, on the off chance he uses you to escape somehow. So you won't tell me? Sorry, this was a waste of time after all. And then, okay, what's happening here? I just see a bunch of sparks coming around Shanks, or maybe the girl. I can't really tell or whoever that is. Probably the girl. No, this has to be some sort of joke. It hurts. What's wrong? Okay, I'm very confused. Bogey? This is what happens when you're too rude and prideful. I wasn't really asking before. Okay, so this is like what Shanks did to Green Bull almost, is how it feels. I'm just confused. I'm just confused on the order of events here, because we see like the do thing, and then they stop and go, no, this has to be some sort of joke, and then he's hurting. I don't know why it kind of stopped for a second. That's what's throwing me off. But this time I'm ordering you to tell me what's going on. Okay, so we don't get any more intel on the Shanks situation. Now we do see the sword, I guess, like the handle of it. Western Village, Elbaf. We've come a long way from the East Blue. Yeah, we finally made it. Hey, the Straw Hats are back. We always dreamed of coming to the country of giants, the homeland of the world's greatest warriors. We've been expecting you. After all, you small folk defended our pride. You freed us after we were fooled. And you saved me from being erased. That's so cool to see all the giants who like owe Luffy a favor, kind of reminiscing over it. I like it because in the moment, it's just, we're about to have this giant feast or whatever. But also, just from Oda's perspective, he loves reminding readers about these things as much as possible, and I love that he weaved it together, right? Like he didn't like stop and say reminder on what happened. He just had them say it in real time. I love the weaving of that together. All of us would like to officially welcome you to Elbaf. Whoa, we may be small, but they aren't looking down on us. She. Here's to the great pirate Straw Hat Luffy, one of the 4 emperors. And to his crew that took down those monsters Kaido and Big Mom at Wano. Raise your camaraderie cups for the Straw Hat crew. Cheers. And so we got this massive cheers scene here. Everyone's got their like barrel of alcohol because like the giants, for them they're massive, so like their cups are just barrels, I guess, which is pretty cool. Love this whole scene, having the crew propped up like on the food board there in the middle. Love that whole setup. All right. Oh, hold on. I think I just saw my goat on the left. Okay, hold on. Oh, hold on. I just saw someone I've been waiting to see. Bo Ja. They're really living it up. It seems the Straw Hats have returned. Huh? Aren't you the giant that was caught on Sabaody? Oh, wow. That's right. Call me Stanson's his real name. Stason. I think it's Stanson's his full name, right? Yeah, it is Stanson. It says it down there. Okay. After Harudean told me we were going to be under your umbrella, I knew it was fate that brought us together back then. I'll definitely repay this debt one day. Thank you. Love. That's such a cool little bit of lore. I don't even think I knew that. Did we know that generally, that that's the same guy? Maybe I just missed that, but that's super cool. Refresher on Stanson. So, by the way, this is what I was talking about earlier when, when Dorian Brogy, Oimo and Kashi, and Harudean reminisced over, like, how Luffy helped him. I like that Oda did that. Not that this is wrong, but not as much of a fan of these ones, but refresher on Stanson, a childhood friend of Harudin that was captured while napping and brought to be sold at the human auction house. Due to another incident, the Straw Hat crew caused a commotion that allowed him to go free. I see. I'm glad what we did helped you. Are you all having fun? Elder Yarl. Elder Yarl is here. Who's that? Okay, this is what I was pumped about. I love Yarl. I'm going to finish reading it, but if you guys have been around, you know probably my number one Elbaf agenda ties to this guy. Bo Jaja, whatever. Oh my, it looks like we have some tiny guests. That giant's built like a mountain. Mountain Beard Yarl, hero of the giants, the oldest one in the world, 408 years old. Elder Yarl, you made it. Hey, there's a sword in your head, Gramps. Bo Jaja. Oh, this old thing? I'm lucky my helmet saved me. But it's going right through, okay? That's very strange. But yo, I love me some Yarl. If you don't know, my number one agenda, pretty much. I was actually thinking about doing a short on this, and maybe now that he appeared, is a good time to do it. But Noland had to have met this guy. That's all I want out of this arc. If all my other theories are wrong, that's the only one I want, is that he met Noland. 408. That means he would have been around 8 years old when Noland was there. Yarl, come on, man. This is your time. I also would bet a large sum of money that Yarl is going to die this arc, as sad as that is, because obviously Yarl died back with the Big Mom thing. And imagine Big Mom comes back and then kills Yarl, like finishes the job, takes out the second one. I think that would be a pretty sick storyline. Be sad, but I think that'd be really good. Overall, fantastic chapter. I'm a little surprised that Luffy didn't notice the hockey blast from the castle, right? Like the teleportation. That part still that. I mean, I could look past it, whatever, but I feel like realistically, that's what should have happened. Or at least Sanji, which I know Sanji's better when like a girl's in trouble, but Sanji's like almost just as good at detecting things in general with observation hockey. So it's a little weird to me because they're also not even that far from. I guess Luffy was down in like over in the library, but regardless, they're not that far from it. So, but whatever, not a big deal. I wish we got a little bit more info on the Shanks situation. That's what I was really hoping for a video that I was working on. So I'll still probably do it because it's not like it was proven wrong. But I was hoping we could at least figure out if that's Shanks or not, or at least get a glimpse of him or something. But still, overall, great chapter. I really like this one. Elbaf drip was good. I love the Colin and Ripley situation. We got to talk about who the dad is here. Like I said, I have a few ideas, but I'm kind of thinking in my head, like, are they realistic or not? Because now I got to think, so how old is Colin? Do we know? We probably saw that whenever Shanks visited, right? So, I mean, you guys probably have some theories, but I got to figure out the timeline first to rule out some options. But a big fan of Bibelot. Or Bibelot, probably Bibelot, right? Because Bible, probably that. Well, I'm a huge fan of him. That's all I gotta say. That might end up being my favorite new character of Elbaf by the end. All right. Well, that was a hell of a chapter. Like, there's so much going on. Like, so many little new things that we touched on. I like that we got to like have the toast at the feast because that was kind of a plot point from before. Like, Luffy's like, let's go meet Saul first. And so I like that we finally had it, because now I feel like Oda can actually get into the nitty gritty of things, because we've had our reunions, right? All the touchy feely stuff, we're good. There's still some lore drops and whatever, but I think now is finally the time to get into it. But overall, fantastic chapter. Shout out to the 200 people here, by the way. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get into the supers now. Also, I saw a couple big donations that I just now saw. Let me go look at those real quick. I want to make sure I didn't, because those don't show up on Streamlabs. So for one thing, Double of Flevance, my guy, gifting 20 memberships. My guy, thank you. I want to go ahead and say that I'm doing, the TCG giveaway tomorrow. So anyone who lives in the US or Canada, this giveaway is still US or Canada, but whenever I hit 100K, we'll open it up to everybody. I explained before why. If you're curious, I'll explain it again. But if anybody got a membership from Flevance or Lulsauce, who I'm also about to mention in a second, who gifted 20, you can go to the community tab and still sign up. The giveaway is tomorrow. As long as you sign up before the stream starts, that's totally cool. So just FYI, if you got a membership and you want to sign up, we're doing that giveaway tomorrow. So thank you, Flevance, and thank you, Lulsauce, also for gifting 20 memberships. Seriously, that is amazing. Knack Reacts gifting 10 memberships. Vex gifting 5. Y'all, happy holidays, y'all. I hope you all had seriously an amazing Christmas, and then hopefully you have a good New Year's. That's a lot, guys. Seriously, I'm feeling the love right now. I appreciate y'all. Seriously. Now, I will say, Flevance, I did see your other membership message where you were a member for 9 months, and you sent the little heart thing, which I agree with that. But then you had the audacity to put a bunch of boar emojis for the Topman agenda, and all I got to say is 2024, the year of the boar, is almost over. You only got a few days left, so I'll let it slide since it's almost 2025, the year of the I don't know, 2025, the year of the knife that is gonna cut down Topman or something like that. I appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna get through the rest of the super chats now because those I can't see on Streamlabs. So let's see. I saw Hogan, saw Quanidin, saw Knack React, saw Big Cheap, Double of Flevance, saw that. Friend Harper with the $20 super chat, guys. Thank you so much for the generosity. Seriously. Not unlike the real world, people romanticize Vikings as these cool warrior people, but they really were murdering pillagers who sold other humans, even though I thought they were cooler until I read Vinland Saga. Great point, Friend Harper. I've been thinking about it a lot in regards to One Piece, like when, I've talked a lot about how, like Usopp is super pumped about coming to the land of the giants and all these tough, brave warrior guys. But then for what we learned from Saul during Robin's flashback is that the giants of Elbaf were like savages. Like he looked kind of down on them. He didn't want to be compared to the giants of Elbaf. And so I am actually really glad you brought that point up because I agree that I think when people think about Vikings, they think like they're these really cool warrior people. They drank all the time, drank mead, and just I think there's also stories about how like they bathed more regularly than other people of the time period. So like women really liked Vikings for that reason because they were clean and had like long like hair and all this stuff, right? There's a lot of stories that talk about how great Vikings were, but like you're pointing out, I mean, like a lot of civilizations back then, to be fair, but the truth is, I mean, they did a lot of bad stuff, stealing people, killing people. Like I mentioned, where women from other places really liked Vikings because they bathed more. I mean, they took people's women and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. I mean, if you're gonna compare them to other people of the time, I'm not gonna say they're better or worse, but they weren't as nice as we tend to think. And so I like that angle here where Elbaf is going through the same thing where they're like, well, yeah, like the warrior stuff is great in certain cases, but like, I mean, it's kind of good to be civilized and nice and proper and kind also and have like global trade where, we're not just living like where we don't even need to go pillage, right? Like if we're trading and making it fair, we don't need to go pillage people and steal and hurt others and all that. So that's a really good point to bring up the history of it all. So I like that. Sam Fisher with the $5 super chat. I see you got a couple of them here. Appreciate you for that. I wonder who Ripley's husband is. I mean, it should have been me, but it should have been me too. But I think it could be that silhouette we saw on the shore that we think is Shiki or Gabon. That was my first thought, was that silhouette. But I wanted to go back and look at how old Colin was, or Colin, whatever his name is, because like that would help kind of piece things together. Because like if Colin is 20 plus years old, then he's probably not Shiki, because I know he looks like a kid, but giants age differently, right? So if he's older than we think, then it probably can't be Shiki, or like it kind of depends. I don't know if anybody in the chat knows how old he is, but I like the first thing I thought when I read the chapter was Louis Arnaud. I thought Louis would be that would be cool if it was Louis. But now, is Louis, because I also said he's not scared of the Giants, so that made me think, well, Louis went to Little Garden, met the Giants. Louis would know. Like, Louis would know them, know not to be worried, whatever. But now, is Louis the silhouette? That's where things get tough, because if Colin is younger than 20-something years old, then the odds that it's Louis in my mind go down, because we know Bragman is at least 22 years old, so he like, you know, made that book that long ago, so like the timeline's sticky. But I see people saying it's Gabon. For me, I think Gabon is one of the least likely ones, because I don't see Scopper like coming back to, like, I mean, I guess the idea would be like maybe he like fell in love with Ripley at one point and came back and all that stuff. But to me, I think if Oda's going to bring back a Roger pirate, which I mean, I do think Scopper's coming back. I don't really picture him as the type of like already, well, marrying someone that he didn't actually want to get married, because it's like an awkward age gap. But like for him to then have a kid, like, to me, and then for that kid to be a Luffy parallel, like, that to me is a little bit much, where you have a Roger pirate, you know, like a Roger pirate's offspring is the next Luffy. Like, it'd be one thing if it was Roger's kid, right? If this was an Ace situation, but it's not. So to me, it's possible, like the pieces are there, but I'm going to say unlikely for Gabon compared to other options. I think Shiki is also unlikely, just because, I mean, he's like a bad dude. I'm also a big believer in, Killer is Shiki's kid. Shout out Mr. Bushido, because I know he's been preaching that for a long time. I'm a believer in that Shiki is the father of Killer. So that would, but again, that's like a theory, so that's not like evidence necessarily. It could be Shiki, but going back to what I was saying earlier, depending on Colin's age, it could reduce the chance at Shiki, because, like, what if Colin was born during the year where Shiki was, or I don't know how long Shiki was in Impel Down, but he was there for a little while, and like, depending on the timing, things get sticky, right? So, I think Louis is the easiest choice of all of them, if we assume he's alive. I mean, because again, I don't know how old Colin is, but yeah. Barnacle Boy, you said, my One Piece hot take is that we're never gonna see Scopper. That's definitely a hot take. If you end up being right, you'll be the only one saying it, and you're gonna get a whole bouquet of flowers from me. But I think we will see him. I don't know if it'll be this arc though. Ismail, you said happy to be here, bro. I'm happy you're here too. But yeah, Sam Fisher, the Ripley husband thing is a big mystery. That's something I really want to know. And then you also had another super chat. You said, I don't believe that God's Knight was using hockey. I think they were using some type of emu yokai telekinesis. That's an interesting. So yeah, that's interesting, because, like, what do we think Emu used on Saturn? You know, like, was that hockey? Was that some kind of emu yokai transformation stuff? You know, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think hockey's like the easiest choice, because if you go back to Egghead, when the circles were getting used, I think Jinbei and maybe Zoro, but I know Jinbei for sure was like, whoa, that amount of hockey. So we know the circles have hockey like emanating from them. And so I tend to lean that way, because it's just like the simplest form. And then because we already know it exists. We saw Shanks kind of do it to Green Bull a little bit on Wano. I know that was like a little bit different, but we were joking that it was Wi-Fi hockey and all that stuff. Well, Emu did pretty much the same thing to Saturn, right? Like, it's very, very close in my mind. And so I feel like that's the same gist here. And I like that, because then the idea is like Luffy or other people will need to have like an insane level of hockey, like a comparable level of hockey to withstand it, right? Like this to me is like advanced conquerors, but I could be wrong. That's just kind of how I view it right now. Like you said, it could be emu yokai telekinesis, like something relating to like the underworld stuff. I could see that too. You know, I think a really good example to this, which I want to bring up in my next video. Again, I was really hoping we got more info than we did about the Shank situation, but I'll still probably do the video anyway. But I definitely, you know, argue that it's hockey there. But I also bring up, you know, Moria's shadow stuff could be a potential example. because like for one thing, he could call the shadows remotely. Remember when he did Shadows Asgard and he like pulled all the shadows remotely? And then also those people who had the shadows taken from them like burnt from the sun. And the only reason I bring those up is we also saw Emu look like they have shadow powers, like whenever Emu fought Sabo in the throne room, like Emu like stretched out this black pointy tail thing. Like it feels like shadows are kind of adjacent to it. And so maybe there is some kind of, like you said, yokai telekinesis, maybe something related to Emu's power where it's like a step up from shadows and Emu is able to like hurt them, you know. Maybe this is like a step up of the bodies disintegrating in the sun, but it's through some power of some kind. Yeah, you know, at this point, I think it's anyone's guess. Let's see here. Mr. Bushido, you send a couple of them as well. Appreciate you, my man. Yarl head injury, reference Shiki wheel. That's a very good suggestion. I didn't even think of that because Shiki also had that you know, wheel sent through his head during the Ed War by Roger or by the storm that was caused. That's a really good connection. I didn't think of that. I don't know. I mean, I definitely think Shiki's going to pull up. I don't necessarily know maybe what the connection would be here. Maybe just to like remind us, you know, like, hey, Shiki had this thing happen too, you know, like he's coming back, don't forget him. That I would definitely believe. Mr. Bushido with the €2 super chat. Ripley's husband is Yorkie, calling it. Well, that you might be the only one on that boat. I don't know if everyone else, I don't know how everyone else feels, but I personally, I really hope Yorkie is completely dead. I know theoretically he could technically be alive, but if Yorkie comes back and has an important role like this, or like people have also said he could be the man marked by flames, he could also come back and do X, Y, or Z. Kind of like Saul, I hope that anyone who is a fake out death doesn't have a big role when they come back. Like Kinemon survived and just met his wife. Saul, I mean, he's the head librarian, which maybe, depending on the lore drops, could end up mattering more. But so far, he's mainly just met Robin. So I hope he doesn't have that kind of big of a role. Personally. Bean Boy, member for 21 months. Bibelot plus Vegapunk plus Iron Shogun equal Tegan, Tapa, Iron Shogun. Well, for one thing, are you saying that Bibelot... Well, yeah, because I guess if So, I didn't... Hold on, wait. So... If Lilith learns everything in the library, well, Vegapunk already knows a lot of it, right? Like Vegapunk already read a lot of the books from like whenever like he went to Ohara, because remember then he visited Saul, right? Like he talked to him. I don't know if he's like read every single book, but you would presume because he also like studied the Void Century and all that stuff, right? Like he said he only had his hands on like on a handful of poneglyphs and stuff. Like I would presume he knows most of this. But that still makes me wonder, like I'm sure Lilith is going to learn something new, whether they brought new books after the fact or whatever. That is interesting that Bibelot that whole idea that they're going to learn, like, because all that info is going to get uploaded to Punk Records, right? And then the other Vegapunks will then know it too, because they get the same information, and they're up talking to Witheria or visiting Witheria. Where does that go? And sorry, I whenever you messaged it, I totally just got lost on the whole Vegapunk thing. I know you said the Tegan Tapa Iron Shogun thing. I believe that's from Gurren Lagann, right? I think that's like the battle mech things, or I forget what they're called, but maybe they're called Tegan Tapa, at least in Japan. No, actually, that would be kind of awesome if. I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but the Iron Shogun getting an upgrade in general to be like a flying version, especially because we're on Elbaf and he needs to go up and down and all that stuff. I kind of like that. We also saw the Vega Force had anti-gravity, so honestly, the more I think about it, the more I like it. But the more interesting thing to me is the Bibelot and Vegapunk combo, just where everything is getting uploaded to Punk Records. To me, that would be... That could end up being a big factor, because again, I need Frankie to connect to Punk Records. That should have already been done, happened. You know what I mean? That should be a day one affair. Lonely Mage super chatted $10. Also, Lonely Mage, hold on a second. Oh, I can't, hold on, I can't open up anything. There we go. I had way too many windows open and lost it all. All right. Lonely Mage, did you gift something earlier and I missed it, or did I say it? Hold on, because I don't see it on here, but my brain is telling me you gifted something at the very start, and I maybe I missed it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That's what my brain's telling me. But regardless, Lonely Mage, you said not likely, but I theorized that Colin's father is Yasopp. That is actually, that's interesting, because people might think that, like, that would be bad because of Bankina, is that how you say her name? Usopp's mom, but she died, and so I mean, obviously Yasopp is, he's in the mud for all that and abandoning his kid, but at the same time, if he heard that she died, and then he remarried, or didn't actually marry, but hooked up with Ripley, that's not the most impossible thing. The arc seems to be integrating brothers into the theme. First Loki being Harudine's brother, then Shank's brother, possibly. Yeah, true. I mean, even whether the Shanks thing comes true or not, the Loki and Harudine thing, also all the giants come in pairs, pretty much, right? Like Yarl and Yarl, Dory and Brogy. Even right here, Harudine and Stanson, kind of. Although I would say Harudine and Loki is a better combo because they're brothers. But regardless, all of them come in pairs. And so if Usopp is gonna be a giant wannabe, I guess you could say, right? Like he loves the giants and wants to be like them. That would make sense that he needs a brother as well. And now I would say Loki is also an option, where maybe, because Loki's like a trickster and mischievous and all that stuff, and Usopp's a liar and all that, so I could see that also mattering. But him being Colin's literal brother, that's actually a really good idea. I like that. I agree it's probably not likely, just because of Yasopp having another kid is like a crazy thing and puts him in the mud even further, because it's like, well, I guess he was at least spending time with Colin, theoretically, because he was on Elbaf a lot, from what we know. But regardless, it would still be like, dang, Yasopp, you left your whole family and started a new one? Like come on, man. You got a whole kid back there that's waiting on you. So for that reason, I'd say it's unlikely, but I like it. Double O Flevens with the $5. I'm Colin's father. All right. Well, now the answer, we have the answer. Oh, no more theories needed. It's Double O Flevens. Also, Hockey concealing cloak. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe Blackbeard used that on Whitebeard, suppressing the will of the fruit, etc. That is interesting to think about. That Blackbeard covered Whitebeard in a cloak and then took his fruit, because it's kind of like, it's like all this stuff is like hidden from us, right? Like Oda's always shrouding it in darkness, and like you even go to Brooks time skip, right? Whenever he visited there, everyone's in a cloak. They're all like praying and all. Like it's like it's always just, like I said, shrouded in mystery, like all of it. Anytime you get near these circles, this devil fruit stuff, like it's always hidden, literally. Like, because Oda could, just not show us, silhouette things out, whatever, but he kind of keeps up this theme of people wearing cloaks. And I brought this up a couple videos ago, and I'm probably going to bring it up in my next video as well. But we also saw the people with Loki had cloaks, and they also had the giant monsters with them, which I kind of read like, okay, so maybe if the people in Brooks time skip who also had cloaks like that, maybe if they were successful, they would have had a giant monster like the Gorosei are, like the beast in Elbaf are, right? And so all that's just to say that, yeah, I don't know, like Oda loves physically hiding it all from us, and so I actually kind of like that idea. I don't know what it would mean for Blackbeard. Like, did he use a circle like everyone else to grab the power or something? Like, there wasn't a whole lot of room in there, but I don't know how big the circles need to be. That would be interesting if Blackbeard literally like put a circle under Whitebeard and we just couldn't see it, and he used it to like grab the fruit. Like, he could have maybe even used his darkness to do it. I don't know. That's interesting. Mr. Bushido 56 super chatted €5. 3 ideas for the father. Yorkie, too long of a theory to explain here. All right. Shiki, he's around somewhere. Yeah, I mean, that one theoretically could work. You said 3, Scopper. Are we just going through all the
all the silhouette examples, because I agree all those are possible. I still like Louis as the number one. I just feel like, I don't know, him having a kid in general, and like he liked adventures. But I mean, the rest of them are totally possible. It would really help if we do Colin's hair. Wait, we do know Colin's hair color, don't we? Because of the anime. That's right, because we already saw him. Let me see. It's pinkish, right? It's pink. He has pink hair. So what does that mean? Is Colin's bio dad the same bio dad as Bonnie? Is the God's Knight or whatever that, you know? I mean, they both have pink hair. I mean, I wouldn't say that's it, but I'm just trying to think of people who have pink hair and mysterious dads, and that's one I can think of. And again, we don't know Ripley's hair. Also, Ripley could just have pink hair, so then it could all be for naught. But yeah, so he has pink. I don't know if that might be a little bit of a hint there. Vasil Vlad Ivanovici with the £5 super chat. Just finished the chapter to join in, and I don't think I need Enel's mantra to know what everybody is rhetorically or not asking right now. Are you wondering who's Ripley's husband or Colin's dad is, and why it's not us? Is that what you're thinking of? Because that's what I'm wondering. Oda, if you need a volunteer to be Ripley's baby dad, I offer myself as a sacrifice. I will go to Shandora and lay straight across that sacrificial altar if that's what you need, Oda. If this is the cause, sign me up. Time Lord with the 69 bits, very nice. I have a couple of ideas as to who Colin's dad could be. Colin's hair is unique. It's not too common. Also, apparently he has pink hair in the anime. Oh, well, there you said that before I even looked it up. I promise I didn't see it, but I'm glad that you did the research, so you probably have some good suggestions here. So my guesses are these two. Bullet, who is like the only character to have Colin's type of hair. That's true. It's like I don't even know what you would call it, but like the tips of the hair is like bulbous. That's like not a good way of putting it, but it's very full hair, right? It's not like strands. It's like, I don't even know what to call it. I genuinely don't. I know what you mean, and those are two of the only people I can think of off the top of my head who have that style. And perhaps Jackson Banner of the Roger Pirates. He has Gear 5 Luffy-like hair. I could see him being similar to Colin. The only other idea is that his dad is Dressrosa because he could have had the Spanish name Colin. Okay, those are my takes, though. That Dressrosa connection is interesting. For me, I think his name is just going to end up being Colin, Colin. It's just they're going with Colin now because it's probably just like a more direct translation, but they'll probably Romanize it to Colin. That's my guess. Or it could be cologne, like you know, like the actual like fragrance cologne. But I think I'm pretty sure it means some other things in certain language. I could be way wrong, but I think that's like an actual name. Sometimes I could be wrong, but I definitely have heard something close to that at least. So I could see that. His name could be a hint. I like the hair connection. Like, the thing about Bullet is that Bullet is technically non-canon. I believe he will be canon, or we could assume he will be personally. But you know, until that is revealed, like I don't think this is how Oda would reveal it. But I do like the through line. Now, but the thing with Bullet and Jackson Banner is, like I said earlier with Scopper, maybe it's just me, but I would have an issue if a Roger pirate went and had a kid, and that kid ended up being like Luffy. Like, I get the idea, like they were, you know, a part of Roger's crew. They followed the past Pirate King. You know, maybe their offspring are going to be kind of like Roger. Like they were already, you know, they already liked him and kind of believe in that way of life or whatever. But I don't know. For me, it's like too direct. Like I would almost rather Colin, you know, is born to random people and then is inspired to be like Luffy by meeting Shanks, which is, you know, kind of a similar through line to Luffy. Like, you know, he wasn't born from the Pirate King or anyone on Roger's crew, but he was inspired to still go be the Pirate King. I like that a lot more. So it could just be me where I'm hesitant to even think of a Roger pirate because of that connection. So, you know, might just be me. But I don't know. I'm still going Louis. Louis is the one that just makes the most sense to me. We don't know much about him. We do know he's a famous author at this point. He has been to Elbaf, so he fits, you know, the bill there. But I mean, I am just guessing. Yeah, I think all of us kind of are. But Mr. Bushido with the €2. Who's the age gap awkward for? Who's the oldie? Well, definitely Ripley, right? Because Ripley is 100-something years old, I presume. She doesn't look like it, but because, you know, like, it could it be that she's young and the other person's super old, like it's like a male Kureha? Maybe. But then you're getting into some weird territory where, like, you know, for Ripley, it's okay if she's 100-something because that's actually like 30-something in giant years, right? She's not actually like an elderly person. She's just older than a human. But then if you flip it around and you have a really old human with Ripley, well, then it's just, I don't know. To me, that's a bit more awkward where you have like a super duper old dude, right, who's like on his last legs and marrying Ripley. Like that's a lot of work for him. So for me, you know, after Big Mom, I can't really say any marriage is off limits. You know, I mean, she had kids with a Tentata, so we've already broken the paradigm of you know how reproduction is supposed to work in One Piece. Oda does not care. So the only thing for me is just being realistic about it. And so whenever I think of the age gap, I'm just kind of like, okay, the dude can't be super old, and so it's definitely going to be the other way. But then, you know. So the guy's probably got to be of like decent, you know, like he's probably going to be strong and important in some way. And I don't know. Oda's throwing us for a loop for this one because it could be anyone in the past like 100 years, right? If we assume, do we know how old Ripley is? Hold on. I don't. Did it say her age last time? I don't think it did, or at least it's not. It's not saying it on her wiki page, so I don't think we know how old she is, but she's over 100, I would presume. And so it could be anyone from the past like 100 years that's been famous in my mind, or like powerful. Joofy D Loy Boy. All right, I said that name correctly, but then I was like, okay, am I pronouncing this incorrectly? But no, I was right. You just have it backwards on purpose. But Joofy D Loy Boy super chatted $2. Wouldn't Shanks know where Loki is? Hashtag doppelganger. Maybe, like, you would think so, but I also think, like, do we know that where he's tied up now, specifically against the tree, does Shanks know where that is, right? Because they had that conversation and they said like Shanks has been all the way out here, but I don't know if that necessarily means Shanks has been there since he got tied up. Like, could they have met even before Loki killed the king and all that stuff, right? So I'll have to go back and reread that because that would be an important bit of context, but my understanding was more so that, like, I don't know if Shanks has been out there while Loki was tied up. That, I guess that I'm not 100% sure on. But if that's true, then that would definitely be some good evidence that that isn't Shanks, I guess. But we got to figure that out first. You would think Shanks would know regardless. You would also think, at least in my mind, you would think that, like, remember when Luffy was walking on the rope bridge above Loki and he heard, like, he said he heard a voice or something beneath? You would think that whether this is Shanks or his brother, to be honest, because if they're both like super duper powerful people, they'd be able to almost detect the hockey, right? Like, to a degree, like they'd be able to feel where that, you know, powerful voice is or whatever on the island. You know, I could be wrong, but that's where my head's at. So I don't know. I mean, maybe Oda is just trying to make things interesting where, like, if everyone used hockey to its fullest extent all the time, maybe there wouldn't be as interesting plot lines like this, you know, where they're trying to find Shanks. So I don't know, but that I'm gonna go back and reread it and see and see if that lines up or not, if Shanks knew or not. Because in my mind, it could also be that, like, Loki killed his father, then maybe Shanks just defeated him, and then he wasn't there for the tie-up process. But now, obviously, Shanks is friends with Elbaf. They may have just told him, or maybe they wouldn't have told him because they didn't want him to know. I'm not really sure. I'll have to go back and reread it, but good point. Kuya Pixel super chatted $2. Solid 7 out of 10 chapter. Still hope we got more of Stabs. Yeah, I was really hoping we'd get more on the Shanks and Stabs situation for sure. I'm pretty surprised that we got, like,
we jumped over here for one page and then went back away from it. That kind of surprised me because given the just how hyped the end of the last chapter was, how much we're all really waiting for this reveal, it surprised me that he touched on it but then didn't go back to it. Also surprised me that, like I said, Luffy didn't detect the hockey. That, to me, I thought was like a for sure thing would happen. So, I don't know. Like I said, maybe Oda just doesn't want to break the game with hockey powers yet, you know? Like, he doesn't want everyone detecting everything yet. I don't know. Straw Hat Kufi with the $2 super chat. Roronoa Arashi. Well, it would have to be Zoro because his family's dead, right? Unless like it is, I guess, unless there's like an extended part of the family. Interesting. You also said Happy New Year, y'all. Straw Hat Goofy, I appreciate you. I hope you have a Happy New Year as well. Let's see, how many days are we? 4 days away from New Year? Awesome. I'm pumped for 2025, guys. I mean, 2024 was solid, but 2025 is gonna be I don't know. I gotta come up with a slogan for, like I was trying to earlier, but I'm pumped for 2025. Mr. Bushido with the €5. Shanks can cancel out observation. Maybe his brother can do the same. Yasop can't be the dad. She said her husband used to be a pirate. Yasop still is. Yeah, I mean, if that's 100%, like, I'm wondering if that's a translation thing where it's not implying used to in the sense of he stopped being a pirate, but used to in terms of like he was a pirate a long time ago and, you know, we got together and then he left and like maybe he still is, but I don't know if she's implying that he's not. Yeah, because it said he used to, because Colvin says he used to be a pirate, he didn't fear anyone. So yeah, it could imply that he's dead, or that they just haven't seen him and they don't know if he's still a pirate, right? Like, I might read the officials for that one, because I think, I don't know if used to actually implies not anymore. But 3-day trip, the goatiest goat of the community with the $5 super chat. Not sure if anyone said this yet, but wonder if last Elbaf King was named after King Harold Hadrada, aka the last Viking King. Also check DMs, please. 3-day, definitely agree with that. The King Harold Hadrada. I mentioned that a few videos ago, maybe like right after we met Loki. I think I said that. But yeah, he was the last king of the Viking age, like in Scandinavia or whatever. Like, so he's known as the last Viking because after him, the whole kind of lifestyle just like vanished, I guess, or whatever. So I definitely think that's it, because after he died, because he's also the one who was bringing in the age of trade and all that. Now that we learned about, right, he brought that kind of globalization to Elbaf. King Harold did, so it makes sense that he would be like the last Viking king. In a lot of ways. Also, I'll go ahead and look at the DMs. Give me 1 second. Well, for one thing, 3-day, thank you for sending me those. Lonely Mage, it looks like I did forget I think I forgot your first 5 gifted memberships, maybe. That might have already been off the page, because, again, they don't show up in Streamlabs, so my bad if I forgot. Thank you, Lonely Mage, and I think I got everyone else, Nacreax, Vex, Flevins. Shout out 3-day for sending me those, because since they don't show up on Streamlabs, I do miss them. But I think I got the rest. So thank you, 3-day. And then 3-day, you also mentioned, or I don't know if that was what you wanted me to check the DMs about, but I also saw you send another thing about she might be like twisting his arms. Oh, that's true. Hold on, I'm gonna go back and look at that. That panel you sent was interesting. Yeah, it does. It actually. Yeah, that's actually a really good point, 3-day. So if you guys go back and look at that panel, and maybe I just missed it, maybe everyone knows this other than me, or maybe 3-day found this on her own, I don't know. But it looks like he's having his arm twisted, right? Like if you go and look at that panel, it looks like his right arm, like the one that, because he has the one arm on the ground supporting himself, and it looks like his other arm, the one that was holding the weapon in the prior panel that had like the giant axe thing, it looks like his arm is getting twisted, which is interesting. The reason I think that's interesting is going back to what I said about shadows and stuff, is remember Moria was able to like twist Orz's body into whatever shape he wanted, and because Orz was like a corpse and whatever, you know, it I don't know if it really ended up mattering much, but if you do that to a living person, they're obviously going to be in crazy, you know, levels of pain. So I like that. So that's a good call out, 3-day. That's interesting. I did not catch that my first time through at all. Very, very interesting.
right, there we go. Sam Fisher with the other $5 super chat. Colin's name is similar to Luffy's Gomu. It's a play on 5-6. Kobro. Oh, so it's another version of 5-6. Okay, I like that. That's actually really cool. I feel like they're gonna end up making his name Colin still, because if it's Koro for 5-6, they don't really have any need to make it Colin, which, like, for Americans, like, Cole, that's just, I mean, you don't want that name, you know, in America, because what Colin normally is. So I think Colin is very likely, but that's a good call out. I like that. Dreams Never Die 95 with the $20 super chat. Dreams Never Die. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you for the generosity, and thank you all of you. Seriously. Hey Dak, hope you've been well. Confidence Colin's father has to be someone from Shanks or Roger's crew. Feels like it has to be them or an ally. Also, Bonnie biological dad could be. Her gender bend version looks like Shanks. Yeah, so the Bonnie biological dad thing we brought up earlier too, I like that because Colin also has pink hair. So that I think could be a really good combo. I mean, now the thing is I think, well, no, we don't know yet if Ginny has pink hair, do we? We don't know what her hair color canonically is yet because she has not been in the anime yet. That won't be till the equivalent of chapter 1095, and we're like in the 1080s, like 1088, I think. So we still have we won't get that till May or June. So yeah, regardless, for now, Bonnie's biological dad is a potential answer. We need to get Ripley's hair color too, because that would help. As for, you said someone from Shanks or Roger's crew, if the line about let me go back to it, where Colvin said he used to be a pirate and he didn't fear anyone. Again, I don't know the exact translation, but if he used to is implying that he is no longer, because it could just be that he left and they don't know, right? Like he once was and they haven't seen him. If it ends up being that 100% he is no longer a pirate but is still alive, then I think a member of the Roger Pirates could work because it would fit in that realm of things. But I also think Louis Arnault could fit there too, because if we're using pirate loosely, if that's just like an adventurer going around freely on his own ship or whatever, I could definitely see him being considered a pirate at some point, but I could also see him stopping after he made the book and all that stuff. So I think he also fits, but it really depends on that breakdown. If it is used to but not anymore, then it can't be anyone from Shanks's crew. And I also think he used to be a pirate and probably does take away from the chance that it is Bonnie's bio dad, because if he is a celestial dragon of any kind, he was probably never considered a pirate, so then it wouldn't be him. But again, we don't really know who that was. For all we know, Bonnie's bio dad ended up leaving Marie-Joie or something, or who the hell knows, right? So yeah, I mean, I think Roger's crew is an option. I personally wouldn't like it. I'm going with Louis until further notice, though. But thank you, Dreams Never Die. I hope you're doing well also. Double O Flevens with the $2 super chat. Kawina D. Father. And so are you saying Kawina didn't die from down D stairs, and Kawina isn't Tashigi, but instead Kawina went and met Ivankov and underwent the operation, the hormone. There's I forget what Ivankov calls it. The hormone. Whenever Ivankov changes from man to woman, there's an ability. I can't remember what the name's called, but Ivankov used that ability on Kawina to make Kawina into a man, so that Kawina is the father. Interesting. That's a theory. That's definitely one of the theories. Spencer with the $5 super chat. I think the HK power, AK maybe, Ancient Kingdom, is a forced prostration. Shanks can do it, or the HK, the Holy Knights power. Okay, gotcha. Holy Knights. There's a lot of acronyms these days, but I appreciate you. Is a forced prostration. Shanks can do it too. Your will defeating the other and forcing them to lower themselves and comply. Yeah, I agree. Well, as for it being the Holy Knights power specifically, I'm not 100% sure. I think they and probably the Gorosei can do it as well, I would imagine. And Emu also. And I also think
that the Celestial Dragons probably can, but they don't because they don't train to be powerful. I mentioned this a few videos ago with the one with Charlos on the thumbnail, which is super appropriate for this whole conversation. So if you haven't seen that video, highly, highly recommend it. But in that video, I talked about how the Celestial Dragons like might be able to like be forcefully transformed. You know, like I mean, Saturn was a Celestial Dragon, just the highest ranking one, right? And he got, you know, killed on the spot by Emu essentially. And so part of me wonders if that can happen to all the Celestial Dragons, but maybe like Emu can forcefully transform them and all that stuff. And so the reason I say all that is the Gods Knights are clearly Celestial Dragons who have gone out and improved their combat. They have hockey, might even have transformations for all we know, all that kind of stuff. So I think that they have a like they're probably better than the regular Celestial Dragons, but I don't know if they're better than the Gorosei. But anyway, I only make that difference just to say that I do agree generally that it's their will kind of defeating the others. So Emu is way above the Celestial Dragon, so Emu could do it to the Gorosei. Shanks might be way above Green Bull, so that's what the Wi-Fi hockey was. It was like maybe the equivalent. And so now I think it's the same kind of thing, right? And like I said with Moria, is it the same thing where you're like your hockey's so strong you can literally like manipulate their body all you want, right? And like reshape them. And if that's true, then that might be why the Gomu Gomu is so important, or the Nika fruit, whatever you want to call it. But just the fact that you're rubber is like the reason that would matter is if you're made of rubber and somebody comes and twists you into a new shape to try killing you, you're good, right? Like if it's true that guy's arm is getting twisted, then like that wouldn't bother Luffy, right? Luffy would be like, hey, stop. This is annoying, right? Like it wouldn't hurt him. He wouldn't like break his arm. So that's honestly, I think that might be where it's headed, Spencer. I think you might be right, and it's at least like to a degree, like they're forcing you to, you know, do whatever. And for Luffy, it won't matter because he's also gonna have hockey, so or Conqueror's hockey, so he might be able to like cancel it or whatever, right? But the fact he's rubber is definitely gonna help him for sure. Lucky Beetle super chatted $5. When are you making your Nami and Luffy versus Blackbeard pirate videos matchup? How will Luffy react to Eustace defeat? Isn't Emu the oldest? Your Rouge when? I love when you guys pack the super chats fat like that. I love it. So appreciate you, Lucky Beetle. As for my Nami and Luffy versus Blackbeard Pirates video, so Nami, the Nami one is next. I'm planning mid-January, so I guess only a few weeks from now. That I have part of it scripted. I'll admit the Nami one, I mean, I do have solid reasons, but I'm not really finding a crazy point to end the video with like I do with some of them. Like with the Brook and Lafitte one, I brought up the idea like their pasts are intermingled and gave some reasons why and all that stuff. I think Nami's matchup, I have some reasons on what she could be tied to, but I don't have like as many concrete ones, so that's mainly why that one's been delayed. But that should come out in a few weeks regardless, because I don't want to wait for eternity for like a new thing to be revealed. Like it might be years until that happens. As for the Luffy one, so I got to do the Nami one, and then I actually have to do one more before the Luffy one, because the Blackbeard Pirates have more members than the Straw Hats, right? And so there is going to be one like odd man out among the Blackbeard Pirates, and so I have to come up with like, here's the person who is going to like join the Straw Hats, and I just put that in quotes because while I do think somebody's going to join, it's just you know, it could be a temporary alliance of some kind. But regardless, I got to do that video too to fill out all the matchups, which I do think it's going to be Yamato. So if anybody doesn't like the idea that Yamato is going to join the crew, I understand. But the reason why Yamato is going to fight this person, if you've been around for a while on the channel, you might know already where I'm going with this. But the Yamato matchup in the Blackbeard Pirates is like a top 5 most confident matchup for me. So like probably right below the guarantees. So got to bring up that one. So the Luffy versus Blackbeard one is probably over the summer, honestly. April maybe, because that one's going to be a big video. Let's see. How will Luffy react to Eustace's defeat? That's a good question too. I feel like he's not going to care much. Like he's probably going to think for a second like,
Well, for Shanks to do that, Kid must have done something pretty bad, because Shanks wouldn't attack anybody, for no reason. So I think he'll think through that. But maybe what Oda will do is juxtapose it with whether this is Shanks or Shanks' brother or whatever it's appearing. Maybe Oda will juxtapose it where like Luffy will like hear Shanks got defeated and think like, oh well, Kid must have been doing something dangerous, but then we'll see Shanks or a Shanks lookalike appear and do something bad, and then Luffy will maybe have a second guessing of himself, like, wait, like, why is Shanks, why are you doing all this? And then, if it's Shanks' brother, he'll figure that out, but I think Oda might juxtapose those things to kind of make us think, like, is Shanks good or bad, or what's going on? And then, you said, isn't Emu the oldest? Wait, I guess I'm confused on that part. Isn't Emu the oldest? You mean person like on Earth right now? I mean, the oldest person. I guess we don't really know, but I guess I'm confused on what that's tying to. Is that tying to Yarl at the end, where it said Yarl's the oldest living one? I think that means giant. If that's what that's to, I'm not exactly sure. That's sometimes the detriment to putting so many questions in the one super chat, even though I love it, is I don't understand the full context. But I think that's the Yarl thing. But I mean, the Sea Kings are probably the oldest living thing, generally speaking. But and then you also said Yarouge when? Any minute. Any minute. Yarouge is dropping down to Elbaf any minute, guys. I'm telling you. It could be the next chapter. It could be the chapter after. Oda doesn't need, any like, he doesn't need to wait for anything for Yarouge. That's kind of the beauty of it, in my opinion. Is all he needs to do is just, like he can bring him in at any moment. Remember how Kaido dropped from Balloon Terminal and crashed, like right in front of everybody? I could see Yarouge doing the same thing, honestly, which I would love that, actually. And also my tabs all just crashed on Firefox for like no reason. I don't know why that just happened. Made me worried that the stream crashed, but I think we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Cool. So yeah, Yarouge any minute. Honestly, having him fall right when the Shank stuff starts, and maybe Yarouge is like warning us. Maybe Yarouge comes in like, "Hey guys," like that. Maybe it's Shanks' brother, and he comes in like, "Hey guys, that's not Shanks. Here's what's actually happening." Maybe he's like trying to, get in front of everything. Or maybe the fight between Shanks or whoever it is and Luffy or whatever will knock Yarouge out of the sky. I don't know, but Yarouge is coming any minute, guaranteed. I'm telling you. If Yarouge does not appear this arc, Oda's getting a sternly worded letter. By the way, my contact is like falling out, so that is why I'm rubbing my eye so much, in case you're wondering. If it gets really red, blame AccuView Oasis. That's the brand of contacts I use. Dreams Never Die with the $10 super chat. Dreams, thank you so much, bro. Seriously, thank you for your generosity. Not sure if it was mentioned, but in chapter 1132, the giant waitress providing food for Colin mentioned the basket has Ripley and his father's favorites in the bag. Might be an indication he's on the island. That's interesting. I gotta go back and look at that real quick. Because Oda's like had a little bit of info here and there like that I feel like we can kind of stitch together. Okay, so here's Colin again. Hey, captains, you coming to the bar for a drink? And wow, and she even said here, they could be here for 3 days straight. That's what they said earlier, like they like to party for 3 days or whatever. So now I'm wondering too, guys, and maybe this is a little bit crazy, but is it possible that they have this party and everyone passes out for 3 days, and maybe Shanks or the fake Shanks, whoever it is, maybe they come in, infiltrate, maybe even go free Loki, maybe just do a bunch of stuff on the island during these 3 days and nobody notices because they're drinking and stuff. And then after the 3 days are up, they're like, wait, Loki's gone? Like all this stuff is damaged? Like what happened? That, I think, could actually be interesting because we already have that example from earlier in the arc. Remember when the crew was on the ship, they were drinking the Green Fairy, and like they ended up on the island and weren't sure what happened, and like they got lost and all that kind of stuff. I could almost see the same thing happening. It would be, I wouldn't really like that Oda redid the same idea again, but I could see something like that.
But yeah, so really good call out, Dreams Never Die, because here they say, if you're heading up to the Sun Realm, take this basket with you. Ripley's favorites are in there. I packed some for your father too. So yeah, he is alive. So he's not dead, and he is on the island. And so now I wish I knew how old Colin was. That's the one thing that would really help piece things together. Because, like, I would guess he's, like, early 20s. Because, like, the giants seem to live about 3 to 4 times as long as humans. And Luffy was, what, 7 when he met Shanks. So if we just multiply that by 3 or 4, he's 21 to 28 years old, if I had to guess. And the reason I say that is just that the timing really matters. Because if he's 23, then the chance of a Roger pirate goes up in my mind, because the Roger pirate would have just came here after the journey was over, right? Like after Roger went and got the One Piece, he would have came back and then stayed on Elbaf and had a kid and all that stuff, and he's just still living there. But if Colin is 25 or 26, then I think the odds of a Roger pirate goes way down, because they still would have been traveling while he was born. So could it have panned out where, you know, the timeline still works? Yes. But yeah, I think the age is really the big thing. That, to me, that really, that could give us the answer, and that's probably why Oda didn't tell us. So I think Roger Pirate's possible, even though I personally wouldn't like it. I'm still going Louis R. Note, though. I just think Louis fits all the boxes and doesn't give us the same problem as, like, a Roger Pirate's giving birth to another Luffy, which, again, that might just be a me thing. But I don't want Roger Pirates having kids that are the next Roger. But it's kind of the same vein as why I don't want Roger Pirates, like, getting involved in things. Like, I like that they're just standing by and waiting for things to happen. I like that whole shtick for the Roger Pirates. So I don't know, could just be me. But Lucky Beetle with the $5 super chat. Thank you, bro. If Zoro meets Shanks, then Whitebeard, the only emperor to not meet him. Same with Saturn and Beige and L not returning. Chopper, the only one that did not meet him. All right, hold on. I got to reread this one again. If Zoro meets Shanks, then Whitebeard. So are you saying that the only emperor to not meet him? So wait. Has Zoro met the other ones? Has Zoro met Blackbeard, right? Has Zoro met Big... Oh, yeah, because in Wano, Zoro saw... Okay, so I guess I'm confused on where that connection... Because none of them have met Shanks, right? See, again, this is the downside of packing the messages fat. Then you got to deal with me trying to decipher like it's a poneglyph. But... No, hey, Lucky Beetle, no worries. Like this, I appreciate the donation, and I kind of like... I like that you're packing it. This is what I used to do before I was a creator, and I would do my super chats, which I wouldn't do that often, but when I would do the same thing. So no worries. You said only Emperor to not meet him. Same with Saturn. So are you saying all these people haven't met Zoro? So Saturn didn't, which I guess they didn't really have like a conflict, but he detected the hockey, so he knew he was there. He definitely didn't meet Shanks. Didn't meet Whitebeard. Did he even really meet Big Mom? To be honest, like, I know they were at the raid together, but did he actually like see or talk to Big Mom? Because he did meet Blackbeard, that one's for sure, because he was there with Luffy and had the them comment. That's interesting to think about. And you said Beige and Enel not returning. Oh, Enel's returning. Enel's a guarantee. Beige I could see not returning. Enel's coming back. I'll bet large sums of money that Enel's coming back this arc as well. Chopper, the only one that did not meet him. Oh, Beige, the only worst generation that didn't meet him. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. That's interesting. And also, that reminded me of something tying to Yarouge, is I'm pretty sure Yarouge never met Luffy either. I think he's the only supernova that never met Luffy. So that's also interesting.
which actually makes me think that Beige is probably going to appear now because Beige has to meet Zoro at some point. Not that like has to happen or there's like a reason specifically, but I mean, it would make sense they all meet at some point. Because Zoro, I don't know if he technically met Yarouge, but Yarouge did see Zoro because Yarouge was there when Zoro almost took down Sharlos, but Yarouge was not there for everything else. So he's still on the island, but he didn't see Luffy most of the time. So they still need to meet. You said Enel not returning. Chopper, the only one that did not meet him. He said Chopper was the only Straw Hat to not meet him, as in Beige or Shanks or well, none of them met Shanks, right? Yeah. Wait, who didn't Chopper meet? Sorry. I guess I'm not sure who him is in that regard. But Anotheramus, I think I'm saying that name right. You said Roof Piece. I don't know if you're saying that in regards to Big Mom meeting Zoro. Yeah, so they would have met. Well, did they actually like clash? Like that's what I'm thinking is like, is seeing each other enough to meet? I guess it is, but I'm just thinking, I guess he fought Prometheus. Like he never actually like talked to Big Mom. The only Straw Hat, or the only Chopper, the only Straw Hat not to meet him, Enel. Oh, Chopper never met Enel. Okay. That's interesting. So Chopper never met Enel. I guess I'd have to think about it, but yeah, because he was protecting the ship for a lot of the time. Yeah, I guess he didn't. So Chopper's going to be like wondering who the hell Enel is whenever he comes back, right? That's going to be a crazy moment. And now Chopper's actually in the library. So tying back to what I was saying earlier, where Shanks or Stabs or whoever, I don't know, whoever that is, if they go around freeing Loki and doing other stuff on the island while everyone's partying, it might be the same thing where Chopper and Robin are in the library and they also miss it. Or maybe those are the only two who are like paying attention, because they're also two of like the smarter Straw Hats, to be honest. And maybe they're the only ones who see the Shanks thing go down. I actually kind of like that too. And here's the thing about Robin, and this actually gives me a whole other branch to a theory that I was thinking already for the Shanks situation, is Robin can spawn like a duplicate of herself in a different place. Remember, we saw that in Wano with the poneglyphs, whenever like the party was going on, which actually there's a party going on now, so there's a connection there. But whenever like they were having that banquet, Robin was like looking for poneglyphs by making like a duplicate of herself in a separate area. And given Robin's connections to uncovering the true history and all this stuff, it makes me think, like, could Robin's powers be somewhat like what people are doing with the summoning circle? So, like, let's just say, for example, it is Shanks coming out of the summoning circle. Is he just making a second version of himself that he can spawn remotely like Robin did? Or it's basically like a shadow clone, right? That I wonder if that could be maybe how that's working. And maybe Robin, because Robin can also like have like spawn an eye just to like look, like that's how she kind of like learned how to read the poneglyphs and stuff, is she like had an eye just like appear in the study room while they were going over it or whatever. So that's also another thing, is maybe she kind of hides but watches Shanks go by, and then maybe she has to go talk to Luffy like, hey Luffy, I saw Shanks walking around, I don't know if you missed it, but he was here. That would actually be a really cool way to go about it, because then it builds like a mystery. For one thing, we got to figure out if it's Shanks or not. Luffy's also going to be wondering why Shanks would visit but not say hi to him if he's on the island. I think all of that would actually be a really good through line. I really like that. Lol sauce, Robin needs to spawn a duplicate in my room. Yeah, man. Hey, Oda could make a killing if he just said all the Robin blow-up dolls were actually Robin. It's just, she used her powers to spawn in your room. Then that would definitely increase the sales. That's for sure. Nico Vento, you said Chopper can talk to Bibelot. I don't know if it's Bibelot or Bibelot, but I'm gonna say Bibelot because that's what I just think is right. But yeah, I brought that up at the very beginning, Nick. I don't know if you were there for that. But yeah, that to me, like, there's a lot of cool stuff in this chapter and a lot to get hyped on. And I feel weird saying it, but Bibelot might be the coolest part of the chapter for me. I'm a huge fan of this guy already. I
I don't know if I have a feeling he can talk like humans. Honestly, I don't have like a great reason for it other than the fact he's super old and like a librarian, so he's probably smart. But Chopper, no matter what, can talk to him, and I guarantee you, Chopper is gonna have a important conversation with this guy. Guarantee it, 100%. It might even be a thing where Robin wants to talk to him, but she can't. So even though Robin, being the translator of the crew, being the one who knows how to decipher other languages, maybe she's like, well, that's, I can't really decipher that language, but Chopper, you can do it, right? You know how to translate that for me. And so maybe Robin and Bibelot have a conversation through Chopper. I could see that as well. I could actually see all of those things occurring. Yeah, Bibelot, I'm a massive fan. I need that guy to be around for the rest of the story. Honestly, you know what? This is like the I don't know, like the big news Morgans who went and got a graduate degree or something, right? Because like it's still a bird who is involved in conveying information. What the news coups also are. I know the news coups work for Morgan, so there's a connection. But Oda's made the birds tied to information sharing a lot, and so this is like the PhD Morgans, right? This is Dr. Morgans. Lucky Beetle with the $2 super chat. You said, sorry, I pay attention to characters that never met. No, dude, that's good that you do, because like Oda's not gonna go the whole story without having like all the Straw Hats meet other major characters. At least, I mean, obviously they can't go meet Whitebeard now, right? Because he's dead, so like they can't fill that void. But I think for the most part, like that matters. Like Oda's gonna make them meet at some point, or Oda could be saving those reunions, or not reunions, but unions, I guess, like first initial one, for other important moments. So I'm actually glad that you do. Barnacle Boy 127, you said it's kind of crazy how we still don't know how Robin even got her fruit in the first place. That is actually a really good point. Because she's just kind of like, she just always had it, right? Like even when she was a little kid, I presume she found it like in the forest on Ohara or whatever. But going into the idea that like, fruits have a will. I know we've heard that for zones, but I've been saying it for years that I think all of them do. That's why every fruit ends up with like the perfect person. And so for Robin, she definitely got the perfect fruit, because if she didn't have that fruit, she would not have been able to learn the ancient language even when she wasn't supposed to, by putting like her eye or whatever, or her ear in the study room so she could like eavesdrop easier. Like that fruit matches her perfectly. And maybe I should do this video soon, but for a long time, I've believed that like all the major female characters in the story have very important parallels to Emu. And I mean the Vivi and Lily thing is, I think, obvious for a lot of people. Like, however that ends up mattering, we know Lily is important. Excuse me. And I don't want to go through all the examples, but all the princesses are named after flowers, and Emu's in the flower room. I don't know. I could go through a million reasons, but the big one for me is Robin, because Robin wants to uncover the true history, which is kind of the antithesis to Emu. But then again, going to Emu being in the flower room, Robin has the flower fruit, right? I know she spawns limbs, but it's the flower fruit because she's like blooming, new versions of herself or just body parts or whatever. So tying over back to Emu, the flower connection is there. And so I've always thought that, there's going to be some important through line there with Robin's fruit. And the fact that she can make duplicates of herself, which maybe Emu can do also, or at least spawn different versions of people in general, right? I don't know. There's definitely something there for sure. Let's see. Brutal Attack 2, you said Rebecca is the only one who seemingly doesn't have a big role to play. Yeah, because the thing about Rebecca is that King Riku is still alive and took back the throne, and no disrespect to Rebecca, although maybe there's a little bit. Like, Rebecca doesn't really have anything that's like super impressive going for her, in my opinion. Like for Vivi, the whole Straw Hat connection was there. Like, she's basically a Straw Hat, but not. She almost joined, and now we have all the Lily stuff, and like the Nefertari were one of the families who didn't stay in Marijua. So like, there's always been important stuff for her. Shirahoshi is an ancient weapon. I mean, we could go through a bunch of examples. I do agree. Rebecca's the one that's kind of like the odd one out. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, Rebecca, like every princess in One Piece is named after a flower, and Rebecca's is interesting because I think hers is like the scarlet flower, but that's more so for her mom. But regardless, even that is weird because she's like the one who isn't directly named after one. Like I'm pretty sure like Shirahoshi, I think there's literally a flower named Shirahoshi. I can't remember all the examples off the top of my head. Like Nami's been compared to like a sunflower before, which is really important because the sun and Eve tree create sun. I don't know. There's all sorts of flower stuff. Flower piece is a real thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Rebecca's role is going to be in the future, other than just being a Luffy fan. My guess is that King Riku is going to die and she becomes queen. That's probably the most likely thing to make her matter. JJ in the chat said, "Don't disrespect Rebecca, sir." JJ, nobody has disrespected Rebecca more than Mr. Ichiro Oda, because all you got to do is look at Rebecca's gladiator outfit. I'm going to put that in quotes, gladiator outfit, to know that there was no respect to be given to Rebecca in the first place. What gladiator goes through a Colosseum battle in chainmail lingerie? Like, who does that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Rebecca low diffs Ripley. Okay, JJ, come on now, come on. Like, look, I'm a Ripley stan, JJ. I don't know what to tell you. All right, Ripley is Ripley's big time. All right. So I think also 419 Bungo earlier I saw you said that you got your cards. So glad those got their, I think that was you, right? I think somebody said they got their cards in the chat. I thought it was you. I can't find the chat now, but oh yep, it was you. You said just got my cards. Thanks, man. No problem. So we are going to start wrapping up the stream here soon, but before you guys go, I just want to tell you guys again, just a quick reminder in case anybody missed the beginning. So the next TCG giveaway stream will be tomorrow. So if you signed up, look forward to that. If you haven't signed up and you live in the US or Canada, go check out my community post, because that is where you can sign up so that you can be in the giveaway. We're going to be opening up 2 boxes of Emperors in the New World and maybe a box of 2 Legends. I got to go look at my inventory, I guess. I know I have at least 2 boxes of Emperors in the New World to open, though. So we're going for the Manga Rare Buggy, Manga Rare Roger, the gold Manga Rare Roger, the Manga Rare Luffy, Manga Rare Shanks, Manga Rare Blackbeard, and wanted poster Blackbeard, wanted poster Buggy, wanted poster Shanks, wanted poster Luffy. The wanted poster cards are great. I forgot to mention those last stream. But maybe more importantly than that, although that is pretty important, make sure you guys vote for your chapters of the year. So I have the straw poll pinned in the chat right here, so just click that if you want to go to the poll. I'm also going to put it in the description in case you're watching the VOD. It's not there right now, but I will do that right whenever I'm done here. So make sure you guys vote for chapters of the year. The results for that will be shown Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, for a charity stream for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. If you just want to come and have a good time and look at the rankings, that's fine. If you want to come and support Make-A-Wish, that'd be awesome. Either way, it would be great to have you guys as a part of that, because this is a community poll, so that's why I'm going to be showing the community results. And as we go through, we're going to be showing where we rank the chapters in comparison to you, and I can already tell you there's a few chapters that you guys have ranked very low that I have ranked highly, and some that I have ranked highly that you guys have ranked low, and it's going to be a fun discussion to have. So make sure you guys fill that out, because the more votes, the merrier. We have like 50-something already, but if we can get up to like 100, that'd be great. And otherwise, yeah, video out in a couple days, by the way. That's another important thing. Be on the lookout for that. We will have a video. I'm not really sure what, because this chapter didn't help or hurt what I was going to talk about, so I gotta figure it out. But there will be a video in a couple days, one way or the other. So yeah, without further ado, guys, thank you guys very much. I just saw my guy Law Sauce at the buzzer with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Law Sauce. Everyone who just got one, if you're in the US or Canada, make sure you head over to the community tab and sign up for the giveaway to get some free TCG cards. And other than that, guys, thank you. I hope you guys had a great holiday. Hope you guys have a great new year. And